I think a lot of us got the knowledge that, hey, things aren't always normal, are they? The weird, bizarre happens. Hi everyone, welcome back to my next video. When the pandemic hit, a lot of us were left scrambling. We're out boondocking, wondering where we're going to get supplies, where we're going to keep getting our water. All of a sudden, there's a run on food. And so I want to talk to you a little about being a prepper. Now, it's nearly impossible to be a prepper and a nomad at the same time. But as much as possible, I'd like to combine the two. When you start thinking about prepping, one of the very first things you got to think about is water, because you can go a long time without food. You can't go hardly at all without water. Usually 3 days without water and you are really severely dehydrated and you're looking at death. So water is a top priority. And if all of a sudden there's an interruption of supplies like there was, fortunately it wasn't a bad interruption. But I think a lot of us got the knowledge that, hey, things aren't always normal, are they? The weird, bizarre happens. And one of the things I've always said is you should carry a water filter, because if you have a source of water, and it's really often I have a source of water. You say, well, what about in the desert? I camp near the Colorado River almost all the time. I can't drink that water. I wouldn't drink that water under any conditions, but it's there. Out in the national forest like I am now, it's not hard to find a creek or a river and get to one and you've got water. So I have said all along, most of us should carry a water filter. So it's kind of an idea of really basic preparations for being a prepper and a nomad is to carry a water filter. And we'll talk about others as we go along. So when we think about water filters, we have to distinguish between a water filter and a water purifier. None of the things I'm going to show you here today are purifiers. These all use a filter that is just really tiny, teeny, tiny holes, and it keeps bad stuff or good stuff, anything, from going through it. These things will all stop cryptosporia, bacteria, protozoa, and the big one in the US is Giardia. What they will not stop from going through are viruses. And that's when you go to a water purifier, is if you want to kill viruses. Next, you need to realize that water filters fall into basically 5 categories. The first one is like this. It's a gravity system. And so it's got a bag, you hang it, a hose comes out, and there's the filter, and then it just drips. You don't have to do a thing. Another one of the most commons water filters is a pump. This is a Catadine hiker pump. You put one in the water and you pump it and it pumps water through. The third type is a drink through. So this Sawyer, this is really cheap. This is $35 and it's a drink through. In other words, you see it comes with a bag. There's a bag in here and you attach the filter to the bag and then you just drink through it. Another way is the straws, same similar thing. I don't have any of the straws. You fill your water bottle and then you put that on and you just suck it through. So your mouth suction is the pump, essentially. A fourth kind of filtering system is UV, ultraviolet light, that just kills everything. I believe they're purifiers. I could be wrong. They go ahead and purify the water, or at least they kill everything bad in it. And I don't have any UVs. I'm not a fan of the UVs. If the UV works good for you, then they're more expensive. They're very small and light. That's very handy. You have to have batteries for them. And so finally, the last one is chemicals, the portable aqua. They're little tiny bottles, and you put it in the water and it kills everything in it. They're cheap, they're easy, they're light. Boy, it's really easy. The problem is they take a long time. If the water's really cold and really dirty, it can take hours. And a lot of us don't want to wait, and they're expensive. If you're doing a lot of water, it takes a lot of chemicals, a lot of the little pills, and then it really starts to add up. So which one would fit a nomad? Well, to my mind, by far the best idea is a gravity filter. You fill the bag, You hang the bag, it drips through. You're not in any hurry. You just want clean water to drink and to bathe in. So I have two different examples of gravity filters, this Sawyer and this Katadyn. This one is 1 gallon, this is 6 liter. This is $40 for the Sawyer here, and this one is $90. Man, they really are proud of this thing, aren't they? Okay, so here's the Sawyer. It's got a great big lid. How fast and easy it is to fill is a pretty big deal, because if you're working in a real small little pond, having a little tiny opening is a problem. You just hang it from here. So this just would screw on to this, and then you're filtering water. I fill this full of dirty water, and I am now, just that simple, I am now filtering water. And this comes with all the Sawyers. You have to clean the filter occasionally. So as all the water goes through and the junk and the bad stuff, it'll start to accumulate. It'll start to slow down. You put this in and push it out. You're going to go backwards to the flow. That cleans it, and all the bad stuff comes out. Next gravity system let's look at. Let's look at the Katadyn. Oh, it comes with a nice little carrying case. That's very good. There's the little water filter. That's actually what the water filter looks like. The great thing about this is the enormous opening. And even if it's a pond with not much depth to it, you can get down in there and really get some water in there. So it's really easy to fill. It's got a clear opening so that you can see how much water is in there. And like all of these wet bags, then you just go over 2, 3, 4 times, and then seal it like that. And that's how you've got it. And then you will hang it from a tree, just like this. The filter goes on here. This now goes in here. The most important thing is to keep your outlet filled or hosed, because you can cross-contaminate really, really easily. So the idea is that you will always keep this separated and clean. So this is a quick release type deal, and it goes in there, and you make sure this is good and clean and dry, and then you put it in here, and then, because this is now going to drop into your clean bottle. So this is 1.5 gallons. You drain this once, you go down, you fill it again, you hang it again, and before long you got 4, 5, 10 gallons of water. All right, now the third, this one's kind of a hybrid bladder. This is made by MSR. MSR is Mountain Safety Research. This particular product is called the ThruLink, and they've been making it for 10 years exclusively for the U.S. military. So here's a bladder. This is just a standard bladder. It goes in your backpack if you're familiar with backpacking. This is the Osprey. It's a good one. And this is an inline filter. So this will go in your backpack, or you can hang it from a tree. And that's how they're advertising this. You can use it as gravity or as you go. So you can put this, attach this to your bladder, and have this in your backpack and drink it out of your bladder. Or at the end of the day, you can fill it full of dirty water and hang it, and then use it as a gravity system both ways. And that's why I bought it, and I think it's the one I'm going to keep. This is the 2 liter, which is 70 ounces. And one of the things I like about the Osprey bag is it just opens like a zipper. Really, really simple to open. You just open it like that, put it in your water, so it's really fast fill, and then you close it again and put that down there. And this is hanging attached so you don't lose it. And you do that, and that's how you're going to do it. What I had to do was, so I bought this, the MSR water filter ThruLink. I bought the Osprey hydraulics, and then I bought a spare reservoir hose. The ThruLink comes with everything you need to make it a quick release in a bag. So this goes down into your backpack. This comes out and hangs up front, and then you just bite on it and suck it out. So here's the quick release. This is designed for a quick release. That goes right in there. And then you put this in there, and now I've got a filter on my bladder. I put this in my backpack. It goes through a hole. They're all designed with them. and I can drink as I go. Because I bought an extra hose, and the MSR came with an extra quick release piece, I can now take the quick release off of here, put this away in a Ziploc so it'll stay clean. So now this hangs and goes in my clean bottle. So this is dirty water I filled out of a dirty container. It goes through the filter and it goes into my clean container. So the MSR filter was $40, the bag was $40, and this was $10. So I have $90 invested in this system. This is the cheapest. This is $35. I got this at Walmart. This is a squeeze. It's a drink as you go. It comes with a little bag. You attach the bag, very similar to the Bladder, except it's a much bigger scale. It comes with its 2 bags. That's nice. It screws on. This is full of water. The one problem, really big problem, is look at this tiny little hole. You've got to fill this thing through that tiny little hole. You got a little pond that's an inch deep. This is going to be a while. In fact, most people say they just end up carrying a cup and pouring it, scooping and pouring, scooping and pouring. This is a real problem. But again, this is a 2-liter bottle. This is this exact same opening on a 2-liter bottle. Then so this is full. You've scooped in water however you did it. Put this on. Just like a water bottle now, you open this and you squeeze it through. This is a squeeze system. This is made by MSR, and it's also a drink as you go. And it's really a ultra light. And remember, you're doing the Appalachian Trail, the Pacific Crest Trail, weights everything in the world to you. And so that's the idea behind this one. It's a drink and go, and that's the entire thing. It's the smallest, the lightest, there's nothing there. This goes into the dirty water. This comes off, and you squeeze, and out comes, and here's the filter. Filter's a little teeny tiny filter and a little teeny tiny thing, and you squeeze, and out comes clean water. That's it. That's the whole thing. This is $50. That seems a little outrageous to me, but it's $50. And finally, a lot of backpackers swear by the pumps. I don't think the pump is a good system for a Nomad. This is fairly light. Actually, that's really remarkably light. This is it. Other than putting on the inlet and the outlet. Oh, this one does come. Something I have not talked to you about yet is pre-filtering. Pre-filtering your water will make your filter last a long, long, long time. And how do you pre-filter? You get a bandana. You get a bandana and you put it over the opening, the fill opening, and then you fill through the bandana. That's a pre-filter. And it works really well. And if you'll do that, it'll keep a lot of the, it'll slow you down filling it initially, but it'll make your filter last much, much longer. Okay, so this is the outlet, and this is the pre-filter. So it's a little weight. It'll keep it at the bottom. And this is just a really fine mesh. So it's pre-filtering, which is the idea. A bunch of the little junk doesn't get into the filter. So this goes into your pond, your dirty source. This comes out and drops in your bottle or your bag or your 1-gallon jug or whatever you're using. And then you pump. 48 pumps, they say that in their literature, 48 pumps to get 1 liter, 200 pumps to get a gallon. 200, let's count 200 right now and see how fun that will be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm never, ever, ever gonna a million years do this, ever. This is just not ever going to happen. I'm not pumping 200 times to get a gallon of water. And a gallon of water is a day. I'm going to do this every day. I'm just not going to do it. This was $70. This is the Hiker, Katadyn Hiker. They make Katadyn Hiker Pro, which is a better model. It's like 90. It's a little faster. I don't recommend these. I just want you to see this is an option. Long time talking. I'll test some of these things. I'll actually set them all up and run water through them and give you what information I can on all of them. You know, for most of us, this is like a spare tire. I hope to never use my spare tire. I hope to never use any one of these things, but I want to have one on hand. And I think that as we saw with the pandemic, you know, if you're out there in the middle of nowhere and you just do not want to go into town because bad things are happening in town, having a water filter will really, really extend that time. So I just look at it as a spare tire. I got to carry one. I want one of these on hand, and I want you to get the best one you can. And so most practical out of all the choices that you have.